Hello there, Barbara Ragsdale here, independent maker with close to my heart. This is the pattern paper cutting video for the Let's Go Anywhere card making workshop. So if you purchased this workshop, available March 1st, 2024 through April 30th, 2024, this is the two pieces of pattern paper that come with your card making workshop. And we're going to cut this up so that we can get everything ready for our cards, to put our cards together. The cardstock video is a separate video. So make sure you check the Let's Go Anywhere playlist on my YouTube channel for the other videos, and then as well as the card making assembly video that I will be going live on my YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribed so that you get those notifications of when I go live or I upload a video. So in the card making workshop, you're going to have two sheets of this pattern paper. This is technically the flip side. The first page of this is going to be this map look with your zip strip. And so we're going to take one of the sheets. So let me set that one aside. Also, when we're sorting these out, I'm going to be listing a number and then a letter. So originally when I cut the number, I'm just going to put it in stacks 1, 2, 3, and 4. I will list out the letter also as well. Sorry, I'm having a hard time getting my mind going this morning. I'm going to list a letter, so sort of like 1A, 2B, 3D, that kind of thing. That number tells you what card that piece is for, basically. So you're going to have a stack of 1s, 2s, 3s, and 4s along with letters. Now, once you get to the assembly part, you're going to kind of, based on the instructions, you'll be able to see what piece goes, where on the card. So, but I'm going to list the number and letter for each piece that I cut. Now, this first piece right here, what we're going to do is we want to take off the zip strip. So the zip strip is going to be this 1/2-inch piece on the flip side that is decorative, because you will be using that. And it is exactly 1/2 inch, and I'm just lining it up on my 1/2 inch. So we can go ahead and trim that off and just kind of leave that off to the side. Okay. Now let's flip this piece back over, and the very first cut that we're going to be doing, we want our paper to go this way. Okay, so flip your passport paper to where passport is showing on the right side as far as the way it's going. Okay, so our first cut, once you have it in your paper trimmer, let's get this first cut going, and it'll go pretty quick. We're going to be cutting a 1-inch strip. So 1 inch, set that aside. Take that one piece that we just cut and turn it landscape, and cut 2 pieces at 5.5. And I'm going to try to go slow enough so that if you're cutting with me, you can keep up. Okay, so you got those 2 pieces. Now that same piece of paper that we just took out, put it back in your trimmer, and we're going to do it again. Cut another 1-inch strip. Take that piece we just cut, turn it landscape in your trimmer, and I'm sorry if there's a glare, but you will cut 2 more pieces at 5.5. 1, 2. I'm going to see if I can bring this down a little bit so you can see maybe a little bit more. See if I can get that glare off there. Hopefully that'll help. So these 4 pieces that we just cut, these are all 2B. So once you get your stacks going, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. These are all 4. These are 2B. Okay, so I'll put that in my stack of 2s. Your paper that is left, put it back in your trimmer. And the next one we're going to cut is a 2-inch. So cut 2 inches. And we're going to do the same process a couple of times as well. That 2-inch piece, turn it landscape and cut 2 of them at 4 1/4. So 1, 2. Those 2 pieces that we just cut off, those are 1A. So put that in your stack of ones. This piece that's left, flip that over and put it to where it's more of a portrait and cut it at 1 3/4 and then turn it sideways and cut it at 2 1/4. This piece that we just cut off is 1D. So put that with your stack of ones, and all these little pieces that have come off, those are going to be scraps. So I'm going to smooth those over to the side, and what we just did, we're going to repeat. So put your paper back in your trimmer, cut a 2-inch strip, turn it landscape, and cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. 1/4, 4 1/4. Those 2 pieces are 1A. That piece that's left, flip it to the other side and turn it portrait. Cut it at 1 3/4, and then turn it landscape and cut it at 2 1/4. And that one is 1D as well. And then put these in your little scrap pile. Now, the piece that's left, okay, originally we were cutting it this way. Now, we're going to flip it around this way, and we're going to cut it at, we're going to keep it in there alongside. We're going to cut it at 2 1/2. So find your 2 1/2. Okay, that piece we just cut, turn it landscape in your printer. I'm sorry, in your trimmer, thinking of a printer, and cut it at, we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. So 1, 2, those 2 pieces that we just cut off, those are 3B. So put that in your stack of 3s. This piece that's left, turn it portrait and cut it at 2 1/4. And then turn it landscape and cut it at 1 3/4. This is 1D. That's a scrap. Yeah, that's a scrap. The piece that's left, let's put that back in our trimmer and cut another one at 2 1/2. And we're going to cut 2 pieces at 4 1/4. 1, 2. Those 2 pieces are also 3B. That piece that's left, let's turn it portrait. We're going to cut it at 2 1/4. And then turn it landscape and cut it at 1 3/4. And this is 1D as well. And then all those pieces that we cut off, those are all scraps, as well as this long piece that's left. So put your little pile of scraps. We're keeping that zip strip right there just in case. Now, our last sheet of pattern paper. This time, let's go ahead and cut off our zip strip. So take that 1/2 inch. This one will go by a lot quicker. That way we have our 2 zip strips right there. Now flip your paper to where your passport is like normal. You can see, you can read it properly, passport. So that's your cutting orientation. And the first cut that we're going to make is 1.5. So cut a strip at 1.5. Okay. Turn that piece landscape, and we're going to cut 4 pieces at 3 inches. So we're not going to have any scraps. Yay. I love it when a good cutting pattern uses all of the pieces. That way you have no scraps. Okay, those 4 pieces that we just cut off, those go to 4C. So card number 4. And then put your paper back. We're going to put it back in our trimmer, but we're going to flip it this way. Okay. So now we want to be cutting on the back side, which is the map side. And we're going to cut at 5.5. So cut you a big piece at 5.5. Let's turn it sideways. And we're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 of them at 2.5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Those 4 pieces that we just cut off, those are all 2A. So put that with your stack of 2s. This piece is scrap. And then the large piece that's left, let's put that back in our trimmer and let's cut it at 4 3/4. Okay. And then turn it landscape. And we're going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces at 2 1/4. So there's 1, 2 1/4 is what we're cutting these pieces at. I hope these videos, these cutting videos, are helping you. I know I'm a visual person when it comes to learning stuff. So if it works for me, it's gotta work for you too as well. So those 4 pieces that we just cut, that is 4D. Okay, so let's put that in our stack of 4s. That really thin strip that came off, that is scrap. And then this extra piece right here, that is also scrap as well. But, you know, there's 2 sides to a scrap. So if you don't have a use for this piece, you can always cut a bunch of little passports out. But we have those. Now, the zip strips. Let's go back to the zip strips. Okay, so we got 2 zip strips here. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut one of them. Let's take one of these, put them in our trimmer. And we're going to cut 4 of them at 3 inches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, and this last one should already be pretty much 3, which it is. So these 4 pieces right here, these go for project number 2. So basically this is going to be for card number 2. So these are P2. So put that with your stack of 2s. The other strip that's left, let's put that in our trimmer. And we're going to cut 4 of them at 1 3/4. Smaller strips, so 1 3/4. They're small pieces even for me to work with here. Try not to move the zip strip so it doesn't cut it crooked. So we got 4 pieces at 1 3/4. You can grab them here. These are going to be for P1, so put that with your stack of ones. And this last little zip strip, that is scrap, and so you can put that off to the side. All right, so that is it for the patterned paper cutting instructions. And just so you know, I was cutting off of this diagram that's in your instructions, your tutorial basically for this particular workshop. That's where I was cutting off of page number 2. And in the next video, we're going to get started with our cardstock. So I will see you in the next video.